What up, world? This is the Tankhead Moe Show. I'm your host, Tankhead Moe. And boy, do we have a very special guest in the building. A comedian who's been setting the stage on fire at Atlanta Comedy Theater, Uptown Comedy Club, The Laughing Score, everywhere in between. He's not just a stand-up comedian. He's a content creator. You've seen him on the Country Wayne skits. He's showing up in A Day in Delta Life with Desi Banks. And he's the man behind the character Sugar Daddy Daquan. he even presented Kai his LBA championship trophy. That's how deep his connection run. Tankhead family, make some noise and give a warm welcome to the one, the only stand-up comedian matchamp, a.k.a. Tom.
Well, thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
Yes. Man, it's good to have you on here. We go way back a little bit.
We did start. We were both feeling our way through a little stand-up comedy at first.
Yeah.
At the time, I was dating a young thing, and she'd already taken some comedy stuff, and
right.
So she figured if I would take some stand-up comedy classes and felt comfortable doing it, why, then we could do it together.
Right.
Well, she dropped out, or I dropped her out. I'm not sure what it was. And but I continued on, and
right.
and I've always been comfortable doing the stand-up because I'm a trained public speaker.
Right.
And so it was trying to take those skills that I had as a public speaker to see if they would translate onto the stage as a stand-up comedian. And it served me very well. You and I have been at it for what? Only about 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, about 5. Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah,
and we've both had our degrees of success, and I'm glad to do it.
Right, man. And people don't know the levels that it took just to learn how to write stand-up, just being in them classes late at night for hours and learning how to, how to conduct yourself on stage, how to hold the mic, how to present a joke, how to write a joke,
Some of it is as simple as it can be because
right.
people don't quite understand, a lot of comics, that you got to hold the mic right up here. Right up against your chin. Now, the one exception to that is Dave Chappelle. I was watching a special. He just did another special, and he holds it down to his chest.
Right.
He must have another mic on him or something like that. But most comics, and particularly young ones, they hold it too low, and you can't hear them, and they don't connect with the audience.
That's right. When did you first know you could make people laugh for a living?
It was actually back in one of my career days. I'm a trained public speaker only because the company with which I was employed said, Tom, you got to learn how to speak better because you're going to be in front of people. So that's when I started, and I threw in some of my corporate speeches humor into it, and I got them to laugh. And so it was a natural progression to me. I've always done a little bit of acting. So, as I say, I've been comfortable on stage. I've been comfortable speaking.
Right.
And so I said, well, what the hell? I'll try the comedy. And as I say, I've met with a little bit of success. Right.
So tell me a little about like your character, like Sugar Daddy Daquan. Like, where do you find, like real life, DMs, pure imaginations or pure imagination.
I'm actually, I generally perform at the minority clubs, and I've been married for 48 years, but that's split up between 2 white bitches, and so I've crossed over, if you will, and I'm dating primarily black women, and it's been such an emotional thing for me. Is I've learned I can't live the culture, but I've learned the culture, and I try to bring that into some of my comedy, and it seems to work.
Yeah. Like I've seen like you work with on Country Wayne skits and Desi Banks. Like, what did you learn from those collabs, and how did they change your brand? And
well, Country Wayne, I think I've been typecast because that involved I played a white landlord and had to kick out a black tenant. I don't know why that happened, but so that was just, I got recruited to do it, and I was willing to do it, and of course I got paid to do it. And so then the Desi Banks thing, same situation, got recruited to do it. And there's a funny story there. And I really enjoyed being on set because I was able to make some suggestions.
Right.
And I played a pilot, and originally I was supposed to be Tom Brady. And I was supposed to come out of the cockpit and throw a football, and Desi was going to be standing at the back of the plane. Okay? And I said, well, that's fine, but maybe I could do something different. And so that's when I was cast as Joe Biden. And I came crockety and all right out of the cockpit. But what was really interesting to me is the skit that Desi was doing was comparing Delta with another airline. And so I was on the elite, I'll call it the Delta airline. But as passengers came on, he was passing out money, just handing it to them. And I said, I don't know if you want to do this, but let me suggest that you just make it rain on him. and sure enough, he took that suggestion, and that's what's in the video. And I was just blown away by his receptiveness. Not that I'm the brightest guy in the world, but his receptiveness to an idea like that to change what he'd already scheduled in there. So here I am as Joe Biden, and I'm making it rain, and it's in the skit, and it's really gone viral.
It's a hilarious skit. I've seen it. Desi put out some hilarious skits, man. That was fun, but you didn't get to the Money Lewinsky part of Joe Biden.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Like, share your story of presenting Kai the LBA championship trophy, and how did that happen, and what did that mean to you?
Well, I've been working with I'll call it a local agent who's put me into some shows, and she put me into a show in '74, which he did a draft of the Little Ballers Association, he called it, and I was cast as the commissioner of the league. So I was actually conducting the draft, and this was amazing because they had crews from New York and Atlanta in a big aircraft type hangar where this was being done. And so I did, I guess, reasonably well, because the next year when he was conducting the draft again, they invited me out there. When I say out there, it was to Los Angeles. And so for 3 days, I got to film with Kai in his rented mansion out there, which was amazing. And it was a good time all along. So I presented to him a most valuable player trophy in this mansion. And then the following day, I conducted the draft, which was great fun. And then the following day, I attended the league championship game. Shocking that Kai, playing against 10 and 12-year-olds, was able to win that game.
Right.
And shocking that once again, Kai was the most valuable player.
Right.
And shocking yet again, I got paid pretty well for that.
Right. So he was playing against 10 and 12-year-olds.
He was. That's why they called it the Little Ballers Association.
So he was in there doing crossovers and dunking on kids.
That's right. But he's a short guy. He's not much taller than me.
Right.
And so he was about the same size as some of those 10-year-olds.
Yeah. What was your, like, going back to stand up, like, what was the moment, like, you remember, like, the worst thing ever happened to you on stage?
Actually, there's two. One of them was I was at a club, and I was talking about my preference for certain black women that I like to date. Make no secret about that. And so I was talking about how strongly I felt about darker complected black women, because it's been always if you look at advertising through the years, it's only been relatively recently that really dark-skinned black women have been featured in major advertising. It's always been the light-skinned. And I always thought that was a little bit unfair. Right. And so in some of my early stand-up, I talked about this preference, and then somebody, a light-skinned black girl, pretty as heck, but she said, That's not funny. Get him off the stage. And that was the first time I really had a heckler get all over my butt. Mm-hmm. And as I learned later on, other comics said, who are far more experienced than me, don't let that bother you.
Right.
That's going to happen.
Right.
But it just threw me off my pace. I didn't know how to handle it. I've since learned, but fortunately or unfortunately, I don't get heckled that much.
Right.
But that was a very learning experience. And then there was one time I got up and I was able to feature, but it was too early for me in my career. I was not ready to do it.
Right.
I was not ready to carry that load in that particular show and did miserably. And that taught me that I've got to be ready. There is a progression in this.
Right.
As you understand your skills and you develop those skills and you watch and learn from other people, you got to realize that maybe you're just not ready. I don't care how confident you are in your abilities. You may not be ready to do some things. You'll get to that point.
In time.
But it takes time, like you said, and work.
That's right. And that's so important what you said, because I remember Teddy Carpenter, shout out to Teddy Carpenter, man, one of the greatest to do stand up. He gave me an opportunity to open up one time, and I knew better, and I remember we were sitting in the hotel, in the lobby in this hotel, and I just straight up told him, like, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of you, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want you to look at me different, but when I'm ready, I'm coming to do it, because at that time I wasn't ready. So I know that feeling, and the person who took it, they didn't do too good. Yeah, and you don't want to, embarrass yourself in front of no legend, stand-up legend. Absolutely like that. Not. So, and I respect Teddy for respecting me enough to say, okay, I get it, I understand. Yeah. So you're right. When you're not ready, just take the time, sit back, and just watch how the artist presented on stage.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what I do.
Yeah, and it's fun, and I've gotten so that you recognize when people are weak on stage, and there might be a lot of reasons for that.
Right.
Okay, and then the people, the producer or the headliner, or whomever, the host, is going to adjust the lineup so that the next person can pick that person up, which is really one of the interesting things you observe as you watch all of the shows we do. Right.
Like, what's one joke you wish you can take back, and why?
The one joke that I could take back, and why? It's kind of funny that you said that. The only one that I talked about where the heckler jumped all over my butt was, I wish I could take that one back, because I just showed too great a preference and insulted, and apparently some of the other people, some of the other lighter-skinned, beautiful black women in the audience. So that's one that I've taken back, and I've really modified my set for that purpose. Apart from that, I just wing it, and I watch for reaction, and hopefully if the reaction is good in the audience, that's fine. But I maybe I'm just too cocky in all this. But there's not a whole lot that I take back, and I certainly would not take back anything I said about my first wife.
Right. And a lot of people don't know. Like, I seen the work you put in with that joke, because it started when we all started. And I remember them jokes. I remember when I first met you, and I'm coming in, because comedy is something I wanted to do since I was a kid. But I had to get other things out the way first before I got in the game. But I remember when I met you, I'm up here thinking like, oh, Tom, just this old white guy, I'm trying to be respectable. Then you get up on the stage and do something completely opposite. Okay.
So, yeah, and I've learned the value of shock. And, what your point is so well taken, because here's this older white guy, and we're not going to talk about how old I really am, but I'm old. And so I start off relatively slowly, and I was telling a story. Is this pretty clean here tonight? Do I have to worry about that?
Talk the way you talk.
Okay, so I developed a new joke about the TV show What Would You Do, which is kind of good. Not everybody knows what that is, particularly you younger folks. But this is a scenario where people have to, there's a sort of like a skit going on, and people are watching it, and they say, what would you do under this circumstance? So I've developed a joke that seems to be hitting pretty well. But but I set it up very seriously, and I set it up by saying, look, I was in New York in a corporate job, and I took one of my paralegals with me, and we were in this business meeting, and it was a successful meeting, and so successful that at midnight, she knocked on my bedroom door. And turned out that she'd married her high school sweetheart. And so she's kind of bored after 10 years of marriage, apparently. And so the question is, what would you do? And so, I mean, I had a problem because I didn't want to turn her away. She's very productive. And so if I turned away, she'd be discouraged. It might be embarrassed. She wouldn't perform the way she did. So what would you do? Well, I had to let her into the room. And she didn't know a whole lot. She didn't know a whole lot because she'd only been with her husband, the only man she'd ever made love to. But I've been eating pussy since I've been 50. Well, I said that. That's exactly what happened. Wait a minute. This old guy is talking about fucking and eating pussy since he's been 15? Whoa! He just changed the entire dynamic. Well, that's the switch off, and then boom, I had him. I had him right there, and then it gets worse, and then it ends with the time when he came up to me at the Christmas party, corporate Christmas party, and holy shit, what's he going to say to me? He says, I understand you fucked my wife. Holy shit, what's going to happen? Well, he took out his hand and shook it, and he says, thank you. Since New York, our sex has never been better. So, once again, it's the shock value of somebody that's coming out of an old guy.
Right.
Coming out of an old guy like me. And then, I say, follow me on Tinder, swipe right, become my lifetime companion.
Right.
But just for tonight.
Right.
Just for tonight. On Tinder, my name is, getting back to it, my Tinder, my name is Daquan. And then off I go, and it's...
So you be putting them young girls with Daquan.
Well, yeah, the young girls, but I got an age range. So, I mean, that's the other thing. I made that clear to young people. I mean, these young kids, they don't know a whole lot, okay? Right. And so I started with her about maybe 35.
Okay.
But I cut them off at about 55, maybe 60 sometimes. But that's the end of it. So they got to have that age range.
Yeah. You said 35. I got an uncle. He say 35, but he don't go over 40.
Oh. Well, he maybe should, but maybe he can't.
Yeah, he in his 80s. He was like, I don't do nothing over 40 now. He 35 to probably 38 is.
Well, I don't care if he's 80 or not. One of the things I emphasize is, look, even if my age,
right,
I'm still fully functional.
Hey, that's a blessing.
No cap. So.
That's right. Well, say, cause you got folk young on them pills, Tom. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah.
I do pills. I do Kegels. I do keep my weight down. I eat well.
Yeah.
Don't do a lot of drugs.
Now I gotta say something about you though. One thing I can say, you keep some nice women around you now, cause I can't say that, cause when I saw, I was like, Tom, cause when, like I say, you was a retired lawyer in the beginning,
right?
So you have that look, like that professional look, until you get on stage, you be like, what?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Oh man, it just be funny because when people walk in the room, like, oh, that's Tom. Okay, let me, you look like you know how people try to be in corporate. Right. You like, let me go over here and do this corporate talk to him, to see what he's.
That's right.
Yeah. So, oh man, that's funny, man.
Well, I do. There's another joke I do that really hits. It's what I call my math joke, because I've been doing this, fucking and eating pussy for so long. I can ask you this question. Mm-hmm. So, how many times a week do you get it?
How many times a week? She being married.
Oh shit! That's going to the number dropping. The number dropping. Okay, well let's just say 3 times a week.
Okay,
3 times a week, and then that's that's 50 weeks, right? So that's 150. You get laid 150 times a year. Now I'm not counting self-help.
Okay.
No self-help.
Yeah.
So that's 150 times a year, and over 10 years, that's 150 times 10. That's 1,500. Is that right?
It's about somewhere up in there.
1,500, and then you see. So I've been doing it close since I was 15, like I said.
Jesus.
So that's 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
I have to be honest.
Ancient time, man.
So that's 10,000 pussies. So can you match that? Why, you need to make that your goal.
Right.
Every man should make that his goal.
Who was that? Was that Wilt Chamberlain?
Probably.
Wilt Chamberlain that say he tried. He did 1,000 in a year or something.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah. I know some of those were hand jobs.
Well, yeah, but like the song goes, the country western song, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
That's right. But to answer your question, yeah, I get it when I want to get it.
Oh, that's good.
And, just get it when I want to get it, man. But, being married, but when you get a little mature sometimes you don't even want it.
Well, speak for yourself, man. Shit. Now you're blowing the stereotype, You're blowing the stereotype completely. Never mind.
So I'm like, the hell with you? Now that was Daquan coming out right there.
Daquan in the building.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, man. That was the greatest creation the creator ever done, was bring women here, man. You can't. It's nothing greater.
No, I agree.
It's nothing greater.
I agree.
Man. It's nothing greater. With this world would not be a world without the women, man.
Yeah, I agree absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
And there's all variety of women.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're white, they're black,
right.
they're brown, they're pink, whatever other colors they are.
Yeah.
I mean, all pussies the same color.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It is that.
And I got the evidence to prove it.
But I ain't. You know what? I always thought what like a extraterrestrial would be like I can't get the word. That's the Tankhead Moe in me. The extraterrestrial. That how you say it?
Close enough.
Yeah. And I be wondering sometimes, cause they be talking about like in Antarctica, and I be like, is they really fine? Like, do you got some extraterrestrial like with a big booty? You know what I'm saying? Just look normal. Like if I'm stranded in Antarctica or something, like would I be able to pull one? I be thinking like that sometimes.
No, I mean I guess that's one of our major. I don't like big booties. No, I like athletic booties, slim athletic booties, and I like the superstructure. The superstructure's got to be there. Right. You got to have the superstructure.
Right.
But not the big booty. I mean, you only got what? How many inches you got? I mean, it makes it harder.
Right.
You need extra inches with those big booties.
Right. Well, it depends. Like, you do like 200. You got to get a nice, tall length. Me, I think the most I ever dated, like a little over 200. Mm. Yeah. But she got height on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it ain't no big outrageous, boo look like two midgets on each side.
That's hard. That's right.
Yeah.
But you ever had two midgets?
No, man, but
that'd be something to try.
Yeah, I can't do it right now though, but yeah, yeah, cause them midgets, they be little petite. You know what I'm saying?
They are petite.
Yeah, but I think the only thing that get me about the little people is even though they grown, then I might be playing mind tricks with myself, like. Thing like, man, I got one be like, I might forget and think they're a kid or something,
That would be bad. But I got nothing against anybody with physical whatever their capabilities are. It's just we're all people. We're all in this world. It doesn't make any difference.
Right.
We all have a contribution to make one way or another.
Right. And they're beautiful. Now I ain't knocking them now. We call them the little people, but they don't women be beautiful and they nicely structured body. I agree. Yeah. So, but I haven't. Have you?
No, I haven't. But it sounds like it's on your bucket list. Apparently not.
Yeah, shoot a video, be like, yeah. To give it up for Tankhead Moe and the little women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so like
how many kids you got?
Oh man, I got 4 kids, man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Boys, girls?
Boy, girl. Yeah. So, and it's the best thing that happened to me. My kids, man. I got some good kids.
Yeah.
You know, I got some good kids. I got an older son. He's a good big brother. You know what I'm saying? I try to make him, that traditional way where the oldest look at the youngest ones, and and he also have another brother too from his mom's side, but he's a good kid. Then my other daughter who's at Tuskegee,
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I got and then I got the 2 little ones. My other son, little Grayson, and my daughter, young baby girl Gianna. So yeah, so I got 4. How about yourself?
I got 3. They're all grown. A boy who's a young man. I shouldn't call him a boy, a young man. He's about 35.
Okay.
Works in New York on Wall Street. I'm very lucky in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
His sister, 2 years younger, is up in Roanoke. She went to SCAD and does design, clothing design. And then her twin is in Marietta. So he's the one that I'm closest to because he's geographically right here in Atlanta. So yeah, and they're all a blessing, and knock on wood, no jail.
Right, yeah, and I can say that too. Yeah, that's the good thing, because that's all you want for your kids, man. You want the best for your kids. You just, as a parent, you just think like, man, before I leave this earth, I just want my kids to be doing good and do good in society, And
long before I leave this earth, I want them to be good and successful, because I'm going to stop paying for those little motherfuckers. They're expensive.
Right. Hey, that's why you make the big bucks, man.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Because I be thinking sometimes, like if you look back, like going to comedy, and back in the day, they had this thing where you had to not work and struggle, as being a comedian before you made it.
Right.
But in this day and time, what do you think about that? Like, if we had to do that this day and time based on what we have now? Like,
it's very interesting, because what I've learned is you got to pay your dues.
Right.
You got to learn, as we were talking earlier, about how to come up through the ranks, how to support other people in the industry. Right. And it takes between 5, 6, 8 years before you blow up. And that's a long time, and that's a lot of journeyman work.
Right.
But that, based on the limited study I've done, is what it's take. And so you just have to realize that. You recognize it. You just keep doing it, because I've been told by people very successful, Tom, you just got to hit the stages.
Right.
You got to hit the stages. You got to keep it up. You got to fine-tune your material.
Right.
And develop new material.
Right.
And that's going to make the difference in the world. And then I've been lucky, because I've been able to branch out in a couple different things. I've done some TV. I've done some plays. I've done some podcasts like this. I love doing this stuff.
Right.
So just spreading your wings, different experiences, because that broadens you and adds to what you contribute to the comedy.
Correct. And that's so true. Like, it don't, like, a lot of times, I know for me, everything be so far. So I try to make sure that, I send my emails so I can hit like Alley Stage or Laughing Skull, like those spots. And some days I can't make it to some of those places, But every day even when I can't make it, I'm working my material.
Yeah.
Because all I do is write.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have mentors that's up in comedy.
Yes.
So that I work with. So I make sure every day I'm working on something, you know, but I write and I do my comedy geared toward Tankhead Moe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And personalizing it and making it as much about you
Right.
and being self-deprecating, that seems to work for a lot of people, including me. So talking about the blessings that we have, sort of try to make it funny, and the challenges we have,
Right.
and looking back on what might have been painful for us, because we're all goddamn same. We all go through the same struggles.
Yeah.
We all go. I don't care. You're white, black, pink, orange, whatever. We all go through the same shit.
Right.
And once you understand that, and once you appreciate that, and once you look back at that and attempt to bring humor to it, and you start to tell people, look, it's going to get better. We're all the same. We go through this stuff together. Let's do it together, and let's find a little humor in it.
Right, right. And that's so true. And you said something that's very important in this stand-up game. It's basically respecting the game and understanding it's a process.
Yes.
And it's going to take 8 to 10 years. You know, that's like, I think I had met, I don't want to get wrong, but when I first met Willerton, a joker, that brother, that's hilarious to me. I love Willerton, man. Big fan. And I think he was like 8 years in, a little bit, and I was at Atlanta Comedy Theater, sitting in the back room, shaking, man. That's, you know, and like I just remember him going on stage and he dropped some jewels on me, and I took it. You know what I'm saying? I took that and I started implementing some of that the way I carry myself when I'm in back in the dressing room or whatever we call it. Yeah. So, and that's very important, how you carry yourself. Don't get caught up in the crowd thing. You know, if you see me, I'm going to be by myself mostly. You know, I don't really talk about people. I'm not going to do that,
Right.
You know, because I understand, you know, where things is. And everybody have their own reason why they do certain things.
Well, it's like what I was taught early on. Not all people follow it, but it's easier to be positive about somebody,
Right.
to find something to compliment them on,
Right.
than it is to criticize them. You
Right.
got to be really close to somebody,
Right.
and they almost have to invite it for you to offer criticism to what they're doing. Otherwise, support. Everybody else is in there. Don't falsely build up their ego or their hopes. Some people ain't never gonna make it, but
Right. That's true.
but be as positive as you can. I mean, you never know.
Right.
You never know if that person's going to get a break and he's going to say, come on my show, Tom.
Right. Right.
Not going to burn any bridges.
And that's true. That's true, man. And like I say, one thing I do love, then it's other comedians too that I like. Like when you look at your Marvin Hunters, you know, huge fan of Marvin Hunter as well. You know, and I remember Lab Love, you know, Steve Brown, like, and Erica Duchess. You can go Tyler Chronic, all of them. And sometimes when you just run into some of the comedians, you like, oh, they out here with us. You know, just, you know, like,
Exactly
I wouldn't have never thought that I'd be around. Like, I remember watching Marvin Hunter before I even was in comedy, you know, and just a lot of other comedians, like your LeVar Walkers, and like my doctor. My doctor is funny too, like, because him and LeVar went to school together. And he was like, yeah, Tank, I know you do comedy, man. And he watched my little thing, my joke about my prostate. Because when I first went to him, I thought I was going to have to get the prostate, but they do the blood now, you know. But anytime he asked me about stuff, then he'd be like, well, you know LeVar, you know, because he loved LeVar, man. Yeah, so
LeVar's a dentist, right?
Yeah, he was.
And he's very funny. He was at Katz last week, and I was lucky enough to do a show there. And so
pharmaceutical. He was the one giving
pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after I did my set, and again, this characterization of me kind of troubles me. He said, and thank you, Tom, you're very funny. Everybody shout out to the owner of Cats, Tom. What are you talking? People, I mean, I can go to a place, sit in the back, and people think, particularly if I'm in a black outfit, they're thinking two things. Either I'm one of the servers, but usually it's this old white guy in the back sitting a little bit off from other people, maybe talking from time to time to other people. He's got to be the owner. Mm-hmm. Oh, why are these stereotypes hitting me with? Then I start talking about pussy, and they know that I'm not the owner.
Yeah, I got to make it out to Cats, though. That's on a Tuesday, right?
Tuesday nights. They have it on Saturday nights a little bit now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to continue it.
Okay.
But the business, and it's like Old Home Week. I mean, a lot of the comics from all over town aggregate there, and they don't necessarily all get up, or they don't care to get up,
right? Because
it's just a community.
Community, yep, it's a community, and like you say, and that's what I got to get out and start connecting more with the brothers and sisters of stand up, and. Because I'm laid back, but anybody can come and talk to me. I'm going to talk to them, right. And if you know me, I'm laid back, and I might have a serious look on my face, but you can approach me, you be looking like, what's wrong with that guy, but nah, it's all good. And
yeah, we enjoy it, and that's what you got to do. You got to be approachable. You got to be, there's some comics, I won't name them, that just sit off by themselves and they don't mix, but
right.
I've discovered that the more you mix, the more accepted you are, the more, let's say, the hosts that are organizing the show see that you're part of the community and get along with everybody.
Right.
They're going to welcome you in that place. You're going to get your time on stage.
Right.
And you're going to get invited back.
Right, right. And the host is very important.
Yes.
If you have the right host, man, that understand the business and they bring you up properly and where there's no disrespect, because if a host bring you up improperly, your set gonna go bad.
That's right.
Yeah. Because they set the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been lucky because both when I get on and also when I get off, I seem to be getting respect.
Yeah, and that's real important, because that host, man, and that's something, I know eventually that I'm probably gonna get into is hosting, and I think a lot of times, like when you have other things and responsibilities and stuff you taking care of, it get hard to be out, because if you live a certain lifestyle, you like, hold, I got to make this to take care of this. Then, and then you trying to do both. You trying to do what you love, as well as, but you like, I do got to take care of home too. So it get hard sometimes.
Yeah. But I've developed a new little trick that I'm experimenting with. And we all know about P. Diddy and his situation. And so he's got a thing for baby oil. So I've taken a bottle of baby oil with me, and I sit it right next to me on the stage, and I say, somebody in this audience is going to get this baby oil. So you pay attention to me. Boy, do I get the attention. The attention of everybody. And then some lucky winner, either a birthday girl or an anniversary couple or whatever, because the couples can use it together. So somebody gets that baby oil.
Yeah.
So I've started to play around with that little prop, and it's kind of fun.
But you know what? I think, I know Diddy, people think Diddy started that baby oil, but Diddy ain't started because, I think back in the day, I got a baby oil story too, man. I remember my mama friend caught me. I thought it was a thing, to rub yourself down with baby oil. And I had the girl, and my mama friend caught me. He busted in, because it was a thing to be in your mama room. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Get in their bed when you have a girl over, and her friend was a bounty hunter. He just happened to come home that day. He busted in the room. I know somebody in here, and I don't oil myself all up with the baby oil, and I got the girl in the closet. I don't cover up in the clothes. Man, the only thing saved me with the baby oil when he was trying to whoop me, the belt was sliding off me. Every time he was like, psst, and it slides off me, so it didn't sting that bad, man. So, and that was before, but I was using baby oil for the right reasons, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you keep saying that.
Yeah. So, man, that. But Diddy took baby oil to the wrong level.
He did.
Yeah, he took it to the wrong level, man. So where do you want to take your comedy game to?
Well, I'd like to perform before bigger and bigger audiences. I don't know that I want to host, although it's good. I just soon headline, frankly, and work my way up to feature the headliner, get paid more that way. Right. I want to travel a little bit. I want to stay away necessarily. Nothing wrong with the Atlanta community. And one of the things I like to do is see out-of-town comedians come into town, listen to their stuff, see if their stuff works here, how close it is to my stuff, because if their stuff works here and my stuff is close, I'm pretty assured, don't know if it'll work out this way, but pretty assured my stuff will work in that community.
Yeah. If you can work here, it can work anywhere. Yeah. All right, Tom, we had fun chopping it up, but now it's time to turn up the heat. Uh-oh. This is the part where I put the guest on the hot seat. Are you ready?
Oh, shit. You try.
Biggest flex right now. What's your biggest flex right now?
Flex,
yeah, about yourself, like something big up in yourself.
You mean something that I'm disappointed about myself? Is that what you're talking about?
Biggest flex, something good about you.
Oh,
flex.
The ease at which I find myself on stage, because a lot of people say they get so nervous and uptight, and I guess it's through my experience, what I do in my career, and in the training I've had, in the practice, and I always rehearse. I mean, I rehearse a lot my set before I get up there. So I guess my biggest flex is the comfortableness that I have on stage, the lack of intimidation. I don't let the audience intimidate me.
Biggest flop on stage?
The biggest flop on stage is when I froze. I was doing a show. It was what I told you, with Erica Duchess. She was kind enough to let me feature the show. I was not ready. I just crashed and burned. I told you a little bit out there, like, oh my God, I was not ready. And I just, it was terrible.
All right. The line you never crossed in a joke.
The line I never cross in a joke. Well, I don't talk about homosexuality. Punto. That's absolutely verboten for me. I stay completely away from that.
Most embarrassed DM you've ever you received?
Can't say I have ever received an embarrassing DM. DMs tend to be, unless they're public on the site. If it comes to me personally, I could give a shit. I can't really pick out. That's a great question. I'll have to think about that. But I guess, I guess it's kind of like a DM. My daughter's name is I guess I can say this, Courtney. And I was dating a beautiful, beautiful woman named Courtney. I mixed up the DMs that I sent to them. This was a potential disaster, but I recovered. That's danger. You gotta remember that those names are important.
One thing fans would be shocked to learn about you.
I think shocked is my career and what I've done and what I've accomplished professionally. I graduated from University of Michigan Law School, Vietnam vet, well decorated at that, and I think they'd be shocked to know the extent to which I've really circulated in the highest levels of corporate America.
Okay. If comedy disappeared tomorrow, what would you do next?
I'd keep dating all the black women I could find. But I would just ramp up. I'm still practicing law. You mentioned I retired. Actually, I'm still very actively employed as a lawyer on my own, and I can ramp that up. I can gauge it. I can turn up that knob, and I'd have no problem doing that. I'd be disappointed because I really enjoyed the comedy game a lot, but I'd be very disappointed. But I do okay in the practice.
Most addictive app on your phone?
Most addictive app on my phone. Goddamn Instagram. Too much Instagram. Looking at those DMs, looking at who's sending me things, looking at my feeds. Right now I'm into exercise. I get, that's one of my New Year's resolutions. I get so many different exercise feeds on my Instagram, and I say, stop watching all those things and do it. Stop studying them and just do that exercise. Do those push-ups. Do those crunches. Do all that other stuff.
Right. Okay, now you survived the Tankhead hot seat. Now before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you, social media, any shows you got coming up, all the good stuff.
Usually there are flyers up. I've got a couple shows down at 291 coming up, which is on Campbellton Road, I think it is. I've got a couple videos that are going to be about shot, but I can't describe those. I just get around town quite a bit and enjoy that. Looking forward to Valentine's Day. That's going to be fun for everybody. We're going to have a lot of opportunity there. You can find me on Instagram as matchamp, like the wrestling, MATCHAMP. It's that simple. On Facebook, it's just my name, Tom Sherman. So that's easy to find. I don't know that I'm on TikTok. I'm on Threads somewhere. I can't keep track of all this shit. I mean, that's the addictive part. They keep multiplying these goddamn things. No, right. I'm not going. I mean, you got to limit yourself to how much time you spend on this stuff.
Right. Oh man. But like I say, y'all get out and check Tom, aka matchamp, out, man. It's a very funny brother. We started the game off together, and
it's been a great journey together.
A great journey, yeah. And people, it's about the truth, the jokes, the Tankhead way. Peace. If you like this episode, please comment, like, share, and subscribe.